Antoine Walker, he credits Boston for trading, or for not trading you rather. He says you can't win with James's style of play. What would you say to that? And do you feel like you've received more negativity leaving Houston as opposed to people embracing your growth and change?
What do you mean my style of play?
Well, he says it's nothing personal, but he feels like with your style of play, that it's just not a type of style that you can win with.
I know, but what is it? I don't understand what that means.
That was his quote. Quote, he literally said, "It's not personal. I'm not a James Harden type of guy, but with his style of play, you can't win that way."
Yeah, I don't really know.
Does that sound personal to you?
I mean, I don't know what it sounds like, but style of play, like um, there's pick and rolls that happen in basketball. There's isolations that happen in basketball. And I do both, so I don't really understand what that means. I just stuff like that I don't even pay attention to, especially somebody that has no credibility.
Go to Andrew Lopez next.
Hey, James, Andrew from ESPN here. Working on a story about alley-oops, and you've thrown a good fair share of those in your career. What makes a good alley-oop, and how when you saw how effective it could be, how much did you want to make that more of a part of your game?
I think it's just placing the ball where the guys that's catching it don't have to really do a lot. There's a lot of bad passes, alley hoops that I throw that, my teammates are just athletic enough to make me look good. But I think just placing the ball in an area where your teammate can just catch it and finish it, and for me, just, being a three-point threat and then able to get to the basket as well and drawing so much attention, I've, learned how to just place the ball and communicate with my teammates in the sense of when I drive, this is what you need to be ready for and things like that. So, yeah, hopefully, I try to obviously make a great pass every time, but in this league, you got long defenders, you got guys that are athletic, that jump high. So sometimes the ball isn't placed where it needs to be or I would like it to be, but credit to my teammates for going and just get it, either way.
How much did you work on making your pass look so much like your floater to where it kind of confuses defenders?
All the time, even now, me and our bigs, DJ, Nick, work on it in the sense of and talk about it in the sense of, as a floater goes up, at that point I'm just reading the defender and what he's gonna do, and so far so good.
Thanks.
Simone Sandri.
Yeah, yesterday Adam talked about the vaccination program, and obviously your voice carry a lot of weight around the NBA. Do you plan to get vaccinated as soon as available for NBA players? And also, will you advise member of the Player Association to get vaccinated?
So what was the question? Say it again.
Which part? The whole thing?
No, just
sorry.
After Adam.
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, I was talking about the vaccination program that Adam talked about yesterday. And I was wondering if you plan to get vaccinated and also if you will advise member of the Player Association to get vaccinated.
That's something that I'm still thinking about. And I think for every individual player, they're their own person, so they can decide whether they're going to get the vaccination or not.
Thanks.
We'll go to Greg Logan with Newsday.
Hi, James. I have two questions for you. First, can you describe this All-Star experience in terms of how it impacts your ability to prepare for the second half of the season? And then second, the Nets have been through a lot of changes. If it turns out that they add a former All-Star free agent in the second half, how difficult would that be to blend yet another person in?
I think just in general, this All-Star game was kind of forced and just thrown up on us. So that's it within itself. And then, we haven't made that move yet. We haven't acquired anybody yet. So I can answer that later if it happens. But, we all know how, of exciting Blake Griffin is and the player he is. So, yeah.
Next, we'll go to Dan Wojcicki.
Hey, James. Kind of along the sort of blended together lines, teams aren't practicing as much this year, if at all, in some cases. How has that impacted, sort of your transition to a new team? Have you guys had to figure it out, obviously, more on the fly on the court? And injuries have obviously played a role in that. But going forward, knowing that you're not going to have practices, how has that kind of impacted things?
For us, I think we use the games as practice and learning, and we got to watch a lot of film. Communication has to be great, and I think you just go off your experiences and what you've been through on the court. That's why we've been so pretty solid, is because we have a vet team, so guys kind of know how to play the game of basketball. Then the communication aspect, betters that and helps that along the way. So huge piece as far as KD missing, for some odd games, but once he gets back in the second half, then we can continue the communication, continue the play on, as far as the games, and continue to watch film and just continue to get this thing right, and because the most important part is, being ready to go once the postseason starts.
We'll go to Andres Lopez, Cultura Sports.
Thank you. James, you briefly referenced this in the previous question you got asked, but how do you feel about this All-Star game as a whole just happening? A lot of players seem to see it as a burden since it's a shortened season. What are your thoughts on that? You briefly referenced it.
Yeah, I feel like, we had, basically we have, a game every single day, or every other day in the regular season. So, you finally get an opportunity to have, close to a week off and be able to, take a deep breath and be with your family and things like that. And we just have, this 1 day event, which is pretty tough. This entire season is tough. It's difficult. A lot of craziness has happened throughout the course of the year. It's something that we just gotta.
We'll go to Kareem Copeland, Washington Post.
Hey, James, thanks for taking the time. I want to ask about your signature line. You're up to number 5 now, and obviously it's All-Star. Everybody brings out their heat. How involved are you in the creative process, and what do you try to convey through your line?
Pretty involved, and I try to give the fans a little bit of me. I'm very, for the most part, to myself. I'm really, really don't talk a lot in the sense of to the world and letting people know, inside of who James Harden really is. So I think I'm trying, to do that through my signature line and my shoe. And hopefully that's, it can get out there as much as I wanted to. But I think as far as my signature shoe, we've gotten better every single year. And, I'm happy, and hopefully my fans are as well.
Gerard Hector, Group.
Hey, James, following up on the signature line story there, how involved are you on the performance aspect of creating the shoe, particularly as it relates to your game and the way in which you play?
Very involved. That's the most important thing. Everything else, from a fan's eye is great, and I do it for them. But I feel like, I know that, as far as like durability and the way it moves with my foot and all those great details has to be, in place in order for me to be able to perform in the way I need to be performing. So durability, as far as how it fits on my foot, comfortability, just all those detailed things are a must, when I'm working on a new shoe.
We'll go to Christian Winfield with the New York Daily News.
Hey, what's going on, James? Obviously, this All-Star game is unlike any All-Star game in previous history, just because of the pandemic that it's happening in the middle of. I'm wondering if you could just kind of walk us through the last 24 or 48 hours in terms of you getting ready for this event, actually getting cleared to go through it, and everything you had to go through to actually be ready to play.
Get to Atlanta, get tested, and stay in the room.
That's all it is.
Pretty much it. Stay in the room until it's time to go out there and play.
Leonardo Torres, El Comercio.
Hi, James. This is Leonardo Torres from Peru. James, do you think you are playing the best basketball of your career? And what do you hope to achieve with this season?
I think I'm playing, very, very good basketball right now. Especially just everything that we've been through as a team, especially how quick it's been as far as getting to know my teammates and being on the same court as them. And the ultimate goal is to compete for a championship, win a championship. That's one of the reasons why, I wanted to come to Brooklyn. So I think everybody, in this organization feels the same way.
Next, we'll go to Naveen Ginglani, Philippines.
Hey James, congratulations on making the All-Star game again. Last All-Star game, towards the end of the fourth quarter, things got really competitive with the new style, and people were even saying it was the most competitive All-Star game in a while. Do you expect the similar level of competition to take place tonight? And also, I was just curious, have you heard about a platform called NBA Top Shot where your highlights are selling for like thousands of dollars?
Hopefully the game can be as close as competitive as it was last year. That was a special game. It was great to be a part of it. So hopefully we can come close, if not match, come close to the excitement that the fans had. And no, I haven't.
Joe Varden with The Athletic.
Hi, James. I know that you and Kyrie had already had the discussion or whatever it was where you guys decided that you would just play point and he would play off the ball. But you also mentioned that Kevin hasn't played much lately because he's been hurt. And so do you feel like the three of you know how you'll need to play off each other come playoff time, or is there still more feeling out to do there?
A little feeling, but I think it'll be easy. Me as the point guard or the primary ball handler, whatever you want to call it, I know who I have on my team, and I know, what positions they like the ball in and how great we can be. So Kevin has been out these last few weeks or whatnot, and I've had to do a little bit more scoring. Now he comes back, my scoring might not be up a little bit more, but just the ultimate goal is to win. And I know how great Kevin's been playing and how my job is to go out there and make his job and Kai's job and the rest of our team job easier. So whatever that looks like, I'm willing to do.
We'll go to Christos Saltis with Sport DNA in Greece.
Hello, James. Thank you for your time. I would like to ask you how enjoyable for you is to share the court with KD and Kyrie in the Brooklyn Nets, and how special is this All-Star appearance for you?
I'm excited to share the floor with KD and Kai. I mean, every single night, obviously we can't in the All-Star game, but throughout the course of the year, especially the second half, I'm more excited because we're going to be so locked in and we're competing for something, so the talent and the skill set that these guys have, along with their competitive nature, is going to be something to be a part of, great to be a part of, alongside with their, the rest of the team as well. So, I'm looking forward to, the journey, and obviously there are going to be some challenges, but I think, we're pretty much built for it.
We'll go to Mark Haynes with Clutch Points.
Hey, what's up, James? You answered a couple of questions about All-Star today. I wanted to take you back to your very first All-Star appearance, and what memories do you have from them moments?
I think that was probably the most special All-Star game I've been a part of, in the sense of, it was my first one, and it was the same year that I got traded to Houston. So it was just, I was kind of the hometown kid, and it felt great to be a part of it, coming off run in Oklahoma City we had, and then it being my first year in Houston as kind of the the main guy, and just letting my talent and my skills speak for itself. So that was special, and one that I always remember.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.